Ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. 1 second, please. All right. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right, all right. Let's get this party started. So Nvidia was the winner. This thing went up like 10% today, almost 9.06%. So if you were longing this, you made some dinero. The low was 403. The high was 438. AMD up in the sky. Wavy back again to its old tricks. Open 358. Dix, Uber, and Peton 775.
Yeah.
Okay. We got Chewy as the loser, BJ's, Tesla, Bank of America, Dillertree, Target, which is gonna, I believe this week gonna have earnings. Walgreens and Walmart also on deck, I believe, mañana for earnings. So, okay, let's see. Let me put the timer on for 20 minutos or less. Okay. All right. Okay, so Americana is at a good point. It's 1589. It had a little upward day. It's still below the 50 period. I'm kind of, I don't know, it's at a good inflection point to get back up here. However, it could, if things go bad, start good into the gutter. So, and the summer months are ending. So, you know, it's not a high peak time for traveling. So just something to be aware of. I do like it at the $14 precio that we had identified before. So we'll just keep observing it, but it looked like everything was kind of green today. So maybe that's why this is starting to head up a little bit, but we shall see. Manzana bouncing around this area. So not completely down today. It had an upward movement, but you can see that the candle wasn't very, very strong. It was just kind of more flattish. So more towards the downside, I would have to say. The chips had a good day today. So even AMD had a wonderful day, 5.04% up to the sky. Let's see how it looks in the minute chart real quick. So basically, if you were a chip today, you did very well. Okay, Amazon. Zoni. Okay, Amazoni started low and then went up, went down, went a little bit up, and even in the aftermarket, it went up. So it would have been a good long to get it here and here. Let's look at the daily. So yeah, it had it's bouncing up. This is one of the tech names that is not below the 50 period. So like I had said yesterday, I can foresee this going up to 150 or so. ASML, we haven't looked at in a while, is 667.77. 1 second. 1 second, ma'am. Hold on a second. I apologize for that. It was interrupted. Azo, 2517.17. Okay. Boeing. I think it's gonna start just bouncing around here like it did in the bottom. until it makes another decision point and then starts heading shooting up to the sky. But like I had said before, the summer months are at the end, so we shall see. Bank of America. Looks like the banks didn't do that well today, so we'll probably see this pattern. The Dow didn't do as well as the NASDAQ. Okay. Meaty is also stepping here, kind of a little bit downward. I'm going to see if it shoots back up to above 15, 16. That would be a good point to short it. But yeah, it stayed stabilized because all of the NASDAQ stocks were kind of good today. Caro, 231.78. It looks like it's gonna go back to this 250. And that's not good if you're shorting this for now because it has bounced here 3 times. So if it gets up here, it might even go above the 250. But we will continue to observe this. If it goes above 250, I'll definitely get in it. Vana, going down, looks like it. Dashi, also going down. Starting to go down. People have realized that this thing is just getting too expensive up there, and it's still doing better than before, but it's still losing dinero. So, DraftKings has been doing well, moving up a little bit up in the chain. It had relatively better earnings than expected, so that's good. EBC. This thing is stronger than the other banks, I would say. It didn't have as a strong a day as the other areas, but like I said, the banks were kind of weak today. But as you can see, this thing is it sort of stayed kind of flattish after it went down, picked back up, and then, well, actually more towards downside. Freshly Fresh Pet did go up because of the NASDAQ. It's on hard buy. I hope that it starts to tank one of these days. Google had a good day. 1.62% up. It went up most of the day, most of the dia. It did go down towards the 1 o'clock, I would say, mark, but then it picked back up, and even in the post market, it picked up again, so it's doing well. Okay, this is Home Depot. So if you got this and shorted it the entire dia, you would have done very well. Tomorrow it has earnings, so that's in anticipation of earnings. We shall see. It might do a crazy like, hey, it's gonna go up to the sky and then go down. But because let me see, I think it's in the pre-market. We won't be able to, or before the pre-market, that it gives the earnings. You might not be able to get in it to the wild craziness that it does. Let me see. I put an image here. Yes, it's before the open. Okay. Lucid. Yeah, it went up. It stabilized in the post market and it started to go down. So hopefully I'll make a little bit of dinero mañana. At this, tomorrow is Tuesday, so we'll continue to observe that. Macy's. Starting to head down, I think, towards 15. I do like it at 15 or under. It had done a 15 under the last earnings, and I think is in 8 days. So that's something to look forward to. See if Macy gets down here. McDonald's will skip. Meta starting to head downward. It's still above the 50 period, but it's starting to look more like Apple and Microsoft because this, like we had said yesterday, too extended, and it's starting to maybe break up a little bit. This has earnings in 72 days. Softy picked up a little bit today, still below the 50 period. It's going down. Let's see, an area of support I don't see until maybe here potentially. This area right here, 287. maybe down here as well, but you know, it has to, it's going down. Again, the chips had a good day. This might be a really excellent short, hint, hint, for somebody who would like to do a short tomorrow, because this thing is just, it went nuts today. This is not something that happens to MU, 6.44%. So
How much does it usually move in a day?
it moves $2.32 usually. And today the low was 64 and the high was 68. So it moved about $4.
Hmm.
So there you go. Something
Yeah,
to
I'm in NVDA already, so doesn't matter.
okay, yes. So this is something, if somebody wanted to short this out there, this would be a good one. It might even get to 70, and then you can short. You're already in NVIDIA, open,
Can we take a look
stabilized.
at NVIDIA real quick?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So how much does NVIDIA move a day? $16.80, $17. How much did it move today? 37. So
It
basically,
moved about 30, it moved about $35,
okay,
right?
37 it says on this thing.
So
37.
it moved about, it doubled it what usually moves.
Yeah, more than double.
Yeah. So what happened was, it had been going down and people were gonna, the market makers noticed that a lot of people started shorting this, and then now they brought it up back like cray. So that's
Yeah,
because
I
this
have
thing,
an average price of 441 and change. I got 50 shares, so I'm hoping it will tank me out.
I believe it will. It might even do a little bounce to 450.
If it just goes $10, I'll be happy.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. You're opening op. Like I said, 358. I'm hoping that it does a bounce up. Um, at some point before the summer is over.
I'm already out of it.
But yes, we shall continue to observe it and see if it does a bounce up, because that's a good opportunity. It's a very cheap stock, and it's going to go to the $2 mark, one point or another by the end of the year. Piton, yeah, basically this is done for now. It might do some crazy, hey, after Thanksgiving or something, or before
I'll be
then, like,
back in
hey,
a second, Lisa. You can keep talking.
okay, I can just wait for you if you want me to. I think it's gonna maybe do a pop before it really buries itself down. The QQQs, like I said, exaggerated momentum up, is still below the 50 period. And I think this was brought up by NVIDIA today. Rivian, it's curving down. It's probably going to get back to this area right here, to this 15 area from 2155. It's going back to its range. Sam, no need to talk about Sam. Target. So this has earnings in 2 days. And Liana, when you're back, I really think it's going to get to 120. I really do. I think it's going to get there for earnings. I think that retailers are not doing as good as one would think. And this is probably one of them, Target. Taco, um, not really nothing here, but just kind of barcoding. It went down and it went back up to this area that it likes. So it didn't do great on earnings. So I think it will potentially, once it breaks this point, it will continue to go down a little bit more. Uber. So Uber had a decent day today, 2.61% up to the sky. I think this is doing way better than Dashi. So we'll continue to observe it. Wayfair did great today. I'm not happy about that, obviously, but hopefully it does do worse mañana. It goes down tomorrow. Walmart didn't have the greatest of days. It went basically down. So that's not a good omen for earnings in 3 days. We shall see what happens at the end of that. XOM picking up again, 112.15. Gas prices have been going up, so I can potentially see this right here at 116, 117 area. So let's look at the next list here. Okay, so the winners for today, Upstart, Lyft, Lowell, Zoom, Hog, Affirm in Florida. Let's see, let's look at Hog. It's still stepping down, even though it had a green day. You can kind of see that the trend is going down. I hope that it does make it to this area that we had identified, 30, because that would be a really good buying opportunity, at least a few shares to see if it goes back up like it did before. Lyft has been having a couple of good days lately. You know, it's been turning around because of the earnings. It had well, it has been picking up, Lyft. So yeah, it had done this dumpster dive here on February, and it looks like it might even at some point maybe fill this gap. So we shall see if it continues on that trend. It looks like it is. Doc, Space. I had mentioned Space today. This is going down. Campbell, let's look at Campbell. Another one that we had identified that might be good. Basically that's it. Let me look at other ones that we didn't. Let's look at BJ's real quick. Looks like BJ's is turning around. Had a down, like a kind of a flattish day today. Let's look at Home Depot. Yes, we had looked at Home Depot before. Let's look at Lowe's. Lowe's. Oh, let's look at Kava because Kava is going to have earnings mañana. It's on hard buy. Okay, so Kava is interesting because it IPO'd on 6/16. It has been going up. And the trend is upward. It's turning around over here. We shall see what the first earning report. The estimate is that it's going to be losing money. I can foresee this not having maybe the best earnings.
What's the earnings tonight? Today?
No, earnings is tomorrow night.
I thought it was after. Okay.
This August 15th. It is on hard buy. So, it has been going up. So, we shall see if it does good or not. It might do some crazy, activity because it's the first earnings. So that's all I got. Let's see. Let me look at the list here that I have for.
Thank you.
for earnings. And let me look at the variance real quick. I think this is BS. You know, if you're buying Nvidia right now, the rally you already passed it. You'll be getting into trouble right now. You know, because it's so extended that, you know, yes, you may make a few bucks, but I think eventually it'll turn around. I think it's dangerous to buy it at such a high, you know.
Well, when was the article written?
Huh?
When was the article written?
Today.
Like, like, don't you think it was probably written before it,
It was written today. It
okay,
was
so,
basically saying Nvidia is still a winner, why the stock is a buy now, and how far it could rally. Um,
yeah, when it was cheaper, yeah, but it went up like crazy.
yeah, and I think it's too extended to be a buy. I wouldn't necessarily take this as a recommendation. But you know, we can listen to it if you want.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, here goes. Let's see. Share sound.
Nvidia is still a winner. Why the stock is a buy now and how far it could rally. By Jack Denton. August 14, 2023, 11:09 a.m. Eastern Time. Nvidia stock had a roaring start to the year, but has since cooled off. Now may be the time to buy, with the shares set to move on the back of quarterly earnings next week and eyed by Morgan Stanley as a winner. Chipmaker Nvidia, ticker NVDA, has been a key beneficiary of this year's frenzy over artificial intelligence, with the stock's near 190% rise since January buoying the S&P 500 and Nasdaq. But recent price action has been sluggish. While the stock was up 3.9% on Monday, the shares have shed more than 10% since peaking in late July, which analysts led by Joseph Moore of Morgan Stanley say is linked to macro concerns and supply anxieties. The dip is a great opportunity to buy, according to Moore's team, who named Nvidia their top pick heading into earnings. Morgan Stanley rates Nvidia at buy with a $500 price target, implying gains of 23.5% from Monday's opening price below $405. It's not a counter-consensus view on Wall Street, with Nvidia stock garnering an average rating of buy among analysts surveyed by FactSet, with an average price target above $515. Nvidia is set to report earnings after the bell on August 23, and Moore's team at Morgan Stanley expects both blowout results and a strong outlook. We think the recent sell-off is a good entry point, as despite supply constraints, we still expect a meaningful beat and raise quarter, and, more importantly, strong visibility over the next 3 to 4 quarters, the team at Morgan Stanley wrote. Nvidia remains our top pick, with a backdrop of the massive shift in spending towards AI, and a fairly exceptional supply-demand imbalance that should persist for the next several quarters. Write to Jack Denton at jack.denton@barron's.com.
Okay. If you're gonna buy this as a short-term thing, like a day trade, I wouldn't disagree. But something long-term, I wouldn't recommend it buying it that's at such a high. That's all.
Yeah, you want to look at the chart?
NVIDIA. This thing is insane in the membrane. This thing has basically what it's saying is this is the high up here, this 468. You should buy the dip because it's gonna surpass this area up here.
Can we look at okay, here for that. You mind if you scrunch it up a little?
Yes, ma'am.
Keep going.
So this is the ultimate high, which is 478.
I just want to see from COVID to now.
Okay. You want me to put it at a weekly?
No, I like the daily, but whatever you want.
It's easier to navigate.
For some people, yeah.
Yes, for me. This is COVID right here.
Okay. All right.
So it surpassed this ultimate high. Boom. And this is the the ultimate high now, the second ultimate high is going down and it's picking back up and it's saying basically after the earnings, they can anticipate it getting to 515 according
Yeah.
to
Sounds like fake news to me.
huh?
Yeah, it sounds like fake news to me.
Yeah, it's just too much, I think. And I think, this is why sometimes you have to be careful with like the analysts and this. If you're gonna buy this as a long-term thing, I wouldn't recommend it because it's eventually gonna come down and level set. But if you are going to do some day trading, then yeah, I wouldn't say don't, buy it and do a long on it and make some dinero, but get out as soon as you can.
If you're investing, who cares? You can do what you want.
Huh? What?
If you're investing and buying it to hold long term, yeah, well, why not buy it? But if you try to make money on it, uh, I just for investment, anything you can buy anything. Um, would I want to get in now? No, I would want to get in at a dip, but everybody's different.
Mm-hmm. That's just my view, but yeah, like you said, everybody's different, and if you think it's a good buy, then yeah.
Um,
Okay,
okay.
that's it. Our time has run out, and the
All right.
tiempo is up.
Sorry, I'm eating my maize on here.
Huh?
I'm eating my maize. Sorry.
Okay. So yes,
All right.
basically most of the things went up today, especially tech, brought up by Nvidia and the chips. The banks
I
didn't do
will
that
say this though, a lot of stuff tanked in the beginning of the market for the first hour.
hour.
So,
Yes.
um, a lot of things did tank. So,
Yes, they did tank and then they picked up. And Disney um pulled a fast one on us, but I'm glad it picked up a little bit up at the end of the day. I thought it was going to continue going down. I wish it would have stayed up here in this area, obviously. It went down, kept going down, and then it started to pick up after 12 o'clock. And then after 1:30, it just started to go down, and then it picked up a little bit. It stabilized in the post market. We shall see what happens mañana. Tomorrow is Tuesday, so but the Dow did. Let me see. Let me look at this. I'm sure the Dow did worse than Nasdaq today. Let's see. Yes. So today, Nasdaq did really well. S&P did medium, and the Dow was the lagger. Maybe tomorrow the Dow will pick up a little bit, do a little bit better than what it did today. But tomorrow will tell. Time will tell. El tiempo lo dirá.
mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let me see if anything else catches my eye before we go. Berkshire buys stakes in DR Horton's UBS to pay 14 fraud charges. Sports gambling apps are hitting the jackpot with the parlay bets. As they win, you lose. Disney's magic will return. It's time to buy the stock. iPhone maker Foxconn scores a B. Apple climbs. Okay, let me look at this real quick. Retail sales to tick up in July, why summer spending may fall. I don't know if you wanted me to put this one out loud, but
July is over.
this was today though. So when they report it,
Uh,
okay. Oh, this Home Depot is a bellwether for big boxes. Sales and earnings could sink. Let's look at this real quick because Home Depot is mañana.
yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna sink too. That's just me. That's
Home
just
Depot
me.
Home Depot reports earnings on Tuesday. Don't expect a blowout quarter, analysts say. Wall Street is expecting Home Depot will post a profit of 4.45 a share from 42 billion in revenue, according to consensus estimates from FactSet. Some store sales, a measure of revenue growth in stores open for at least a year, are projected to decline by 3.9%. Yes. So,
Did we look at Home Depot?
you might have left.
Okay. You mind if we look
But
at it again?
absolutely not. Let's look at it. Oh, yo, yo. Oh, yo, yo, yo. So we're looking at the 5-minute chart right now. Basically, it did
I don't see anything.
oh,
You stopped sharing, I think.
did I? Okay, hold on a sec. Yeah. What about now?
I can see.
Okay, so basically, if you caught it up here, 333.80 or so, 333.79, you did very well to short this. Boom, went down to the bottom, picked back up, rejected VWAP, obviously went down. Then it surpassed VWAP, coasted it up a little bit, and then went back down. Dropped most of the DIA. And it continued in the post market. It continues in the post market. Let's look at the weekly. So yeah, it's in an area that it likes to kind of reject. It hasn't surpassed this area, this 340 area.
Can we look at the 1 minute chart?
Oh yo yo, boy yo yo yo.
Not looking good.
Yes.
What about the daily? Is that available?
Sorry for the background noise.
So the red line is the 50-day moving average or the 200?
The red is the 50.
Okay.
It's strong, but it is extended. See how it's such a big difference between it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just have a hunch that it's gonna tank. That's all. I have
Well,
no.
you're not the only one.
Yeah.
According to this, there's a good chance that Home Depot's result will meet expectations, analysts say, but with higher interest rates discouraging Americans from making big ticket purchases, such as buying and remodeling a house, it may be unrealistic to expect a rally following the results.
Well, the thing is that wood prices were ridiculous, and
What?
now they have come down. They're still overpriced, but they're not like they were before. So just with that alone, they shouldn't make as much money.
Repeat what you said again?
wood prices were like 4 times what they used to be last year, a year and a half ago.
What prices? Which kind?
Wood,
Okay, wood. That's okay. Mm-hmm.
lumber,
Yes, lumber. Okay, gotcha. Yes.
just with that alone, the prices, let's say, are like 2 to 3 times more expensive. But last year, a year and a half ago, they were like 4 to 5 times more expensive. So just with that alone, Home Depot should not make as much money as they did in the previous year or 2.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's another good point that should be taken into consideration for mañana.
Yeah, and I feel it's just been very like just too strong. I think they'll do okay, but
Yeah, it's like I said, they might meet expectations, but don't expect a rally.
yeah,
The ongoing reductions in household moves will cause a decline in the remodeling and repair activity that typically occurs around the time of a home sale. The magnitude of the impact may be offset if owners who are locked into their current homes with ultra low mortgage rates continue to renovate to meet their changing needs or take advantage of the new federal incentives for energy efficiency for profits. So yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I won't read this out loud because we're running out of time. But yes, that's a really good point.
And its earnings is tomorrow, after work. I mean, after
Before,
work.
before open.
Huh, interesting. All right.
They usually do it before.
Uh-huh.
At least in the last couple of times that I've been paying attention to the market, they have done it before.
Okay. Um, so yeah, so we'll see what happens, but I just have a feeling it's gonna be a tank day. Um, and yeah, we'll see what happens then. All right. So we got a little bit under 2 minutes.
A minute. We have $1.30 left.
Um, I am going to bask and enjoy my maize with a grill some chicken thighs, which is turning out really good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Oh, this one is good. Nicola recalls most of its trucks. The stock is plummeting. The company announced a voluntary recall of more than 200 of its battery electric heavy duty trucks due to the possibility of battery fires.
Oh God. I don't know why they're talking about this. This is like what?
Tesla cut prices again in China. Why is driving up concern?
Nicola thing. They were reporting on that 2 years ago. All of the batteries are catching on fire, even Teslas. It still amazes me why people seem to act like they're all using similar technology. If one is
As we had stated before, the EV electric batteries is not all that cracked up to be. And that's all we have to say.
please,
It's worse than what it is. And that's the true proof.
By people. Okay. I don't know who's trying to promote this, but it may be a con job that